Every choice harnesses and creates energy within us. Each choice that I make draws upon one aspect of my existing energy. And my choice, whether it's positive or negative, is in my point of focus, choosing the energy that I want to cultivate. I like to think in terms of stepping into this energy. I can choose to step into fear or anger, or I can choose to step into love, compassion, or peace. So today, I thought I'd share a bit about how I think about this choice, along with some of the tools that I use that help me to step into those higher energy states as often as I can. I'm Kyle Greenfield with thejoywithin.org. We offer a free, mindful path to reduce stress and negative thinking and cultivate more joy, peace, and well-being in your daily life. So in every moment, I choose the energy that I want to activate. And I do this regardless of whether I'm aware of this choice or not. As I step into an energy, I strengthen it. So responsible choice isn't about trying to deny the moments in which I feel angry or upset, but rather in recognizing that, yes, I have the ability to feel angry, but I also have the ability to feel peaceful. And my choice is in which of these two energies I want to strengthen. If I can become aware of this choice, then I can start to ask myself a question. I can start to think, is this circumstance really worth the sacrifice of my peace? Because this is the dynamic at play. If someone says something that angers me, I am deciding that their words are more important than my sense of peace. I would rather strengthen anger within me than choose to let their words go. And once I make this choice internally, then it ripples out into my words and my actions. My action is a symbol of my inner choice. So let's say I'm in a bad mood. Maybe I've had a long day, I'm tired, and I get home from work and my wife says something that triggers me. If I snap at her, it isn't so much that I am choosing to yell at her, but that internally I am choosing to be angry. And my outburst is a reflection of that inner choice. I choose the energy, the emotion, and the action is the result. If I can understand this dynamic that's at play, then I can start to make the choice more consciously, and I can lift myself into a higher state. For example, let's say I'm feeling overwhelmed or indecisive about a decision I have to make. I've seen the pros and cons, and still I'm torn. One thing that I can do is I can imagine myself into different options, and I can feel into the energy of each. Not think about it, not reason why it might be good or bad, but feel into what aspects of the decision resonate with me. What aspects do not? If I can feel into the energy that's behind each choice, I can make the decision based on what's going to lift me up into a higher state. One strategy that I really like for this is to give myself 3 options and then ask which one resonates, which one makes me feel most excited here. I like to use 3 choices because it is specific enough to narrow my focus without feeling overwhelming. Forget the infinite possibilities for a moment. Of these 3 options, which one feels the best? Which one raises my energy? That will get me moving in the right direction. And the more specific that I can be about the dynamic that's at play, the easier this choice becomes. Usually, one of those 3 options is a throwaway. So my wife says that thing that triggers me. What can I do? Well, I can yell at her. That's option 1. That's anger. And let's face it, it's probably not the best choice. Option 2, I could just walk away. That's self-protection. Maybe it's not an amazing option, but at least it's better than anger. Option 3, maybe I could ask her a question, say something calm or loving, like, why is it that this is bothering you? Help me to understand why you feel this way. Is there anything that I can do to help with this? That's a more compassionate response. So the question is, which of these 3 options resonates most strongly? And this is where it gets tricky, because on paper, option 3 sounds like it's clearly the right choice. But if I can't get to that feeling of compassion and love in the moment, then the same action might come across as being defensive. That might actually worsen the situation. So I have to focus on where I am right now, and I have to make the choice that I can get to emotionally and use it in a way that nudges me forward. Remember that the action reflects the energy, not the other way around. So if I can't get myself to feel compassionate in that moment, then maybe option 2, walking away for a few minutes, is the right choice because that's where I am. It isn't that this action is always good or that action is always bad, because the same surface level action can be backed by completely different energy and intention. Think about it. I could go to work and feel trapped and hate my job. Or I can go to the same job and feel proud and fulfilled that I'm providing for my family. Or if I pour myself a drink, it could be because I'm having a bad day and I'm using alcohol as a crutch. Or it could be because I'm sitting out in the garden, having a pleasant evening with friends. The energy, the intention is completely different. So I have to be aware of where my energy is in the moment that I'm making the choice. And I have to make the choice that nudges that energy forward, that resonates with me most strongly right now. When I think in this way, I start to become very clear about the many ways in which my ego personality is afraid or resisting the world that's around me. And I become better able to choose actions that point me back towards a state of wholeness and alignment. So whatever energy I act from is the energy that I strengthen within me. And if this doesn't feel like a choice, it's because I have begun to default to that state of energy. Because as I strengthen it, I become more likely to choose that same state again. If I am constantly angry, for example, then I become more and more likely to respond to even very neutral circumstances or neutral comments from that state of anger. I become trapped in it, so to speak, or at least it feels that way, because I have practiced choosing the energy of anger. And it can even feel like I become blind to other possibilities within me. This is why it's so important to choose the state of energy that is the best feeling energy for you now, even if on paper it looks like there's a better option out there. If you can't feel it, it won't work for you. And often that feels like taking very small steps forward. It took me a long time to realize this, but learning to choose my actions based on the highest energy available to me in each moment is my path of personal growth. And I want to share a passage that really underscores this for me. This is from Gary Zukav in The Seat of the Soul. He writes, "Try to realize and truly realize that what stands between you and a different life are matters of responsible choice. In your moments of fear, what you are obscure about in your thinking is the power and magnitude of your own choice. Recognize what your own power of choice is. You are not at the mercy of your inadequacy. The intention that will empower you must come from a place within you that suggests that you are indeed able to make responsible choices and draw the power from them, that you can make choices that empower you and not disempower you, that you are capable of acts of wholeness. Test your power of choice, because each time you choose otherwise, you disengage the power of your addiction more and more and increase your personal power more and more." And I think that word addiction here is really interesting. On the one level, it could mean, yes, an addiction to a negative habit. But what resonates more with me is the idea that when I think about it, I am addicted to my thoughts. I am addicted to my fears. I am addicted to my beliefs that the world should be other than it is, that I am right, or that I am justified in responding from a negative state of energy. I am justified in my belief in separation rather than wholeness. This helps me to see that responsible choice is about challenging these negative beliefs and fears one moment at a time. It's about stepping back into a more positive state of love or acceptance as often as I can. And one empowering belief that helps me with this is the idea that no matter what it looks like to my ego personality, the universe is fundamentally compassionate. It is fundamentally loving. That thing that makes me so angry at times is actually compassionate. It's actually serving me. It is God or the universe or my higher self or whatever word you want to use, helping me to see that there is anger within me, that I am split, that I am not whole. And as it points out that anger to me, I now have the opportunity to make a better choice. The negative state is what gives me the opportunity to choose alignment over fear. My choice is not in my circumstance. It's in my emotional response to that circumstance. In a very real way, the circumstance that I'm in has nothing to do with me. Even if it's the result of past actions or past decisions that I've made, there isn't anything that I can do about that now. This circumstance already is. My one and only responsibility, my only point of power, is in how I respond emotionally to that circumstance. That's what dictates everything. I can't let myself get hung up on why it's here, or it shouldn't be this way, or I should have done something different in the past, because none of that is up to me. At least none of it is up to now me. Whatever happened in the past is not relevant to my current choice. I am very human, and there are many moments in which I do not make the highest choice that is available to me. It often feels like negative states are triggered automatically, unconsciously. But if I can remind myself that they are a choice, if I know that I am choosing to be angry, I am choosing to be upset or sad or whatever it is, if I know that it is a choice, it is easier for me to lift myself up back into a higher state. It just becomes obvious. Why would I let this thing get in the way of my peace? Why should I choose to be angry just because this other person happens to be yelling at me? Why should I choose to be stressed just because I'm going through a situation that is a little intense or not what I prefer? Why is any of that worth me choosing not to feel calm and centered? It just doesn't make any sense when I am clear. It's getting back to that clarity in the moment of negativity that is the challenge. As I said, I cannot always do this, and that's okay. We all have these different energies swirling within us. We all fall into bad moods at times. The point is that thinking in this way helps me to make more aligned, more resonant choices more often. As I do, I begin to see more clearly. I release more of my fears, and it becomes easier for me to step back into love. So thank you so much for your time and your energy here today. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and let me know what resonated most with you. And I want you to know that what I shared with you here today lines up perfectly with steps 2 and 3 of the Path of Alignment. So I encourage you to follow the link below to watch the deeper training on that as well. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone you love. I believe it is our responsibility to spread joy in any way that we can. And I am always amazed by how simple actions like sending a link to a friend can ripple out and have a tremendous positive impact on the world. So please share. And if you want to go deeper into these ideas, head over to thejoywithin.org, where you will find more free trainings, guided exercises, and meditations to help you reduce stress and negativity and cultivate more joy, peace, and well-being in your life. Thank you so much.